Hi, I'm Joe White. Welcome to Behind the Curtain, episode number 62. Tonight we are doing Monologues, and I'm very fortunate enough to have my co-host, Julie Murphy, here tonight. Julie.
So, Joe, during the pandemic, a lot of theater groups have closed. Nobody's been performing. What has ACT been up to?
Well, Julie, we're not going to let a pandemic or a lockdown stop the creativity here at ACT. We've utilized the technology that we have, Zoom and iPhones, etc., and we started to create more Behind the Curtain episodes than we've ever done in the past. We had the 90-minute version of ACT acting up via the Zoom, which you are very much a big part of. We've done 3 episodes of TV brackets, talking about the top 128 TV shows of all time. We've done a not-so-newlywed game, which we're hoping to have another version of it, Julie, with you and Vin as part of it. And we've got a lot more in store. So if anybody out there is interested in participating in any capacity, please feel free to reach out to me at ashlandcommunitytheater@gmail.com.
Joe, the last production you did was a bunch of skits and one acts and a lot of group involvement. Why did you choose Monologues?
Given today's current environment of lockdowns and social distancing, we really can't get actors together the way we normally would be. So we wanted to hone their skills, both from an acting perspective and a writing perspective. And Monologues is a great way to do that. Actors leverage monologues many different ways to rehearse, use it for auditions. Writers use it for opportunities to get their thoughts down on paper without creating a whole dialogue between people. So with the forum that we have and the restrictions that we have and the talent that we have, I felt Monologues would be a great way to connect all 3 and make sure that we can get some creativity going in this time of change.
So, Joe, who contributed to this show tonight? Which actors are involved?
Julie, we've got so many people working on this. We have 13 different participants. I'm going to just look at my list here so I don't leave anybody out, because the talent is amazing. We've got some great combination writers and actors like Erath, Lida McGirr, Mauro Ciccarelli, Eric Onkenhout, Arnie Pollinger. I wrote a couple of things myself, but we also have some really great actors. Rob Murphy did a fantastic job in tonight's episode. Melanie, Blodgett-O'Toole, Jerry Halfhide, Bob Maibor, the amazing Larry Loring, and Jimi Zimmardi, who's a new find here at ACT. They all contributed in one way or another. Some written, some were acting, some were doing both. I think you're going to really enjoy tonight's show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Monologues.
So my daughter called me up a couple of weeks ago and asked if I would run a 5K for charity. Sure, I said. Just to set the record straight, I do run. I think I've run maybe 6 timed races in my life. And the highlight so far was in the very first race I ran. It was a 5K. And I was getting close to the finish line, and I was congratulating myself on having made it, when a roar went up from the crowd. And I thought, wow, how supportive the running community is. At which point, a guy passed me, and he was pushing a stroller with triplets in it. Now, to be fair, he was younger than me. I'm pretty sure it was a racing stroller, and the end of the race was kind of downhill, so all the momentum from those extra people, it probably helped him, right? Well, he won, and within 2 minutes, every woman under 40 within a 2-mile radius was near him, and I got this. It's kind of like a participation trophy for 6-year-olds playing soccer when you finish 9th out of 10 in a tournament. Yeah. To be clear, I don't join races to win, but a race in this day and age, all those runners packed together at the starting line, wouldn't get a gold star from Dr. Fauci. And I already run slowly enough that I'm not going to do it in a hazmat suit. But no worries. Turns out the modern version of a race is a virtual one. Not only are you not packed into the starting gate with other runners, there is no starting gate. And in fact, you don't run the same course, you don't run at the same time, you don't necessarily run with other people, and you're pretty much on the honor system for your time. I know. Sounds weird, but I paid my $30, and so I ran. So, I ran. Well, trudged might be more accurate, and I finished in a time that might not make a tortoise jealous. But taking so long did give me a chance to think about things while I was out there, and it occurred to me that I had just paid $30 to go run on a course of my own choosing, with no one around, witnessed by absolutely no one, and without even any triplets. You know, this sounds like a scam. I mean, if I were to say to you that for $30, I will allow you to go out and run wherever you want, whenever you want, however long you want, and the time doesn't really matter. You'd tell me to go jump in a lake. Oh, or better yet, I could tell you that I will donate $1 of your entry fee to the charity of your choice. Pocket the rest. Still a scam. This sounds like one of those Nigerian prince email specials. You know, the ones where His Highness sends you an email and says he has a whole trunk of gold, and if you just send $10 or $100 or $1,000, then he can get the gold out of the country and he'll split it with you. See the similarities? You send in money, you get nothing. I mean, in fact, you could make an argument that His Highness's victims are better off, because at least they didn't have to run 3 miles to get ripped off. Or maybe it's not a scam. Maybe we really did raise $80,000 for charity. You know, I think I might sign up to do another one of these. And I think you'd be interested too. So, please click on the link below and send me $30, for which I will register you at this low introductory rate. And don't worry if you don't hear from me for a while. Just go run a bit.
Hello, is this Mrs. Richardson? Well, hi, I'm Stevie W. from WTNA, Best Parent Ever. So you have been nominated to be the best parent ever. All I need from you is some reasons as to why you believe you are the best parent ever.
Well, the first thing, I always have things under control. You guys, shut up! Mom's on a Zoom show. I told you to keep it down, so shut it. Sorry. Where was I? Oh, right. I've never left my kids at a rest stop on the Mass Pike more than 2 times. And the first time doesn't count because Jimmy ran away. I never allow my children to pump gasoline into the car unattended. I mean, not after Billy doused himself with the gas hose. Oh. Luckily, this guy came by to help us. He was going to run in and get some water. He's like, I'm a doctor. I was like, thank God. He was like, well, I'm a psychologist. I'm like, what the hell are you going to do? Ask him how he feels about the gas? I'm happy to report that their favorite shows are my favorite shows. We watch them together. We watch The Simpsons, Sons of Anarchy, The Real Housewives, Walking Dead. It's weird. They have the same taste as me. I don't have any favorites. Any. Of all my children, I just tell them that they're all my favorites. I lie to their little faces. But the real favorite is definitely Andrew. I feed them 3 solid, healthy meals a day. Almost every day. I mean, maybe not the weekends, but that doesn't count. That's their dad's job. I rarely bring them to bars. Unless I haven't had a drink in 8 hours. Or it's been a rough day and mommy needs a little comfort because daddy worked too many hours and left me with them for 8 hours in a row. I teach them things all the time. I love education and I love to teach them. And just yesterday, I showed them how the DVR works, how to get money from the ATM with an expired card, and how to raise money outside the grocery store pretending to sell Girl Scout cookies. I play games with them all the time. Our favorite is the quiet game. It's that one where, like, who speaks first loses and doesn't get to sleep in a bed that night. They love that game. We play it all the time. The record's Little Genie. It's been 3 weeks since she said a word. That kid is well rested.
Oh, okay, Mrs. Richardson. Is there any other reason why you think you should be considered the best parent ever?
Oh, and unlike my best friend Grace, I've never been arrested for leaving my children home alone. So the kids called 911 because they were afraid of the thunderstorms. And when the police arrived, because of the 911 call, they found the kids alone, and they found the bottles of muscle relaxers that she keeps around the house, to help her get through the day. I mean, she's got 4 kids. Who can blame her? Well, she may or may not have had a prescription for said muscle relaxers. So, the cops just ended up taking everybody to the ER because they weren't sure if the kids had taken them or not. And Grace got pinched. So that's the number one reason that I'm the number one parent.
Hey, this thing on? Oh, there he is. Hey, it's the family. The family. My family. Our family. We're all family. It's no different than any other family. Maybe just not a family in traditional sense. Not the wife and kid kind of family. But I have a family. It's one which is based on respect, allegiance, and faith. Well, I guess this family's not that much different than another one, not so unique in nature. It's got its hierarchy, like any other traditional family. It's got the leader, the father, me, right? And other members, like Vinny, Sally, and Rocco. They're like sons to me. They would do anything for me. Anything I ask, anything I tell them to. And as a matter of fact, I know they do anything for me. And I ask a lot. I just can't tell you the specifics. You see, this family, it's got many secrets, like they all do. And those secrets should stay in the family. You see, once one of the boys, Jimi Singles, you know why we call him Jimi Singles? Because he's always walking around with a wad of singles in him, like he's ready to go to the strip club. I think he bankrolled that Xenon place all by himself. Anyway, I digress. You see, Jimmy, he told stories about the family more than one should. So now we call it Jimi Singles, Jimi Daisies, because that's what he's pushing instead of singles these days. Capiche? Anyway, one thing about this family is we watch out for each other. We protect each other. No one upsets or harms this family. You see, one day, Salvatore's sister, Rosa, she was dating this guy. Well, let's just say he wasn't of Italian descent. Anyway, he was dating this guy from Winchester, Worcester, someplace. Anyway, he got a little pushy one night in the car. And I remember Rosa coming home and telling Vinny, Sally, and me that this young man, who obviously didn't know how to respect or treat a lady. What was his name? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. He won't be laying his hands on anyone anytime soon. Oh, I think he learned his lesson. Let's just say he won't be playing the piano anytime soon. Capiche? Yeah. My family, they're the salt of the earth. They're the best of this world, and no one ever hurts or touches them. That being said, this family, we have rules. And as long as you know the rules and respect the rules and abide by them, it's a happy family. Not everyone's happy, mind you, all the time. They all respect the father, the leader, the family man. After all, my family is my life to me. And in some cases, the life is others as well. So if you think about it, really think that you want to be a part of this family, then you should know who I am. And you may not want to know who I am, huh? Because chances are, if I show up at your door, you did something to deserve it. See, there's a time in every man's life when he has to take care of family business, one way or another, whether you like it or not. So think about this and remember that this family is for life. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get ready to meet another family member for a short dinner. Let's just say it'll be quick. I promise you, you won't be ordering any dessert. Huh? Capiche? All right. We'll talk to you later. Go on.
So ACT is known for doing a lot of comedy, but some of the monologues tonight are actually serious. Tonight we're going to see Rob Murphy in A Lesson from My Father, written by Joe White, and Id, written by Lida McGirr.
I'm not sure when my father quit, or when he gave up, or when he threw in the blanket on being a father. Maybe it was because he drank 15 beers a day. But I did learn one lesson from him, though I'm not sure he knew he taught it to me. So I remember once when I was 12 years old, he said he would come and get me at noon from my aunt's house and take me to the circus. I'd never been to the circus. I was really excited. And I was ready at 11. And 12:15. And then 12:30 came and passed and he wasn't there. So I walked around to the corner to wait for him by the bus stop. Still at 1, he wasn't there. So I decided to walk the bus line. I got this feeling that if I met him, we'd get there faster. I watched every bus pass by. And I looked inside just in case he was in on any of them. I mean, there must have been 10 buses that passed by and he wasn't on any of them. So then I get to the end of the bus line, the stop in which he would get on. And I looked around and I saw a dry cleaners and a newsstand and a bar, the Green Tavern. So I looked and he wasn't in the dry cleaners or the newsstand, so I walked in the bar. It was dark and dreary and a smoky place. And sure enough, he was there. He was drunk and talking to another equally drunk man about how he had to get a job as the boss had fired him for being late all the time. So I walked up to him and I said, "Hi, Dad. Thought we were going to the circus today." And he almost fell out of his chair. I wasn't sure if it was because he was drunk or shocked, but I can remember to this day what he said. He said, "Son, I want to be with you, but I really can't leave this bar. Maybe we'll go together next week." And he patted me on the head and he tried to hug me. And I pulled away and I ran outside. I remember the darkness of that bar and the contrasting light when it hit my eyes. And when I burst through those doors, I ran. I ran and I ran and I ran. And that night, I remembered that instead of knowing what the circus was like, all I knew is that I wasn't more important than a bottle of Rheingold beer. So I'm not sure when my father quit, or when he gave up, or when he threw in the blanket on being a father. But I can't talk about that now. I have to take my kids to the circus, and I won't be late.
I am totally independent of the good or bad opinions of others. I am beneath no one. I am fearless in the face of any and all challenges. That is not my inner dialogue. For years, as I've walked along the beaches of Ogunquit, the Jersey Shore, Mount Desert Island, and these past 2 decades, Cornhill Beach and Truro, free from the mind-clogging responsibilities of day-to-day living, my inner dialogue sounds more like, make me 35 again. Or better yet, let's go back to 20. Don't erase my life today. Let me keep my memories and my children and my experiences. I don't want to lose any of that. Just let me lose the wrinkles, the loose skin. Somehow allow my cells to move back in time to what they were when I was 20 without erasing any of the life I've lived. And I want to be 3 inches taller. Might as well make it 4.5 inches taller and exquisitely proportioned. My weight from back then should be just about right for my new height. But just to make sure, let's have it, I've eaten and exercised right for the 10 years prior. And I never drank to excess or overate. And I exercise regularly. Let's have it, I studied more dance, ballet, and tap. Let me not have been ashamed of my body as I saw it reflected back to me, surrounded by all those tall, rangy girls. Let me have danced, soared. Now I don't know who I'm talking to. God, the devil, the wind, the air, the sea, the sand, Merlin the wizard. It's interesting. I've never ever formed a picture of what I've looked like with these tweets. It just temporarily silences the crippling voices that have followed and taunted me all my life, or at least cancels them out enough to make me focus on everything I lack versus what I possess, focus on who and what I am not versus who I am, my deficits versus my assets. My inner dialogue seems to have somewhat drowned out those voices. But they're still there. They occasionally break through loud and clear. My favorite aunt referring to me as a chubby baby. My best friend from junior high school gossiping to others about my less than long and lean legs. My father's friend exclaiming, "She's such a beautiful girl, it's a shame she's so short." An ex-boyfriend's snarky remark, "Well, you're perfect from the waist up." Oh, and then there was my first love who told me, out of all the women I've known, and I'm sure he knew a great many, think Michelangelo's sculpture of David, bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, he said, out of all the women I've known, you're not the most beautiful, maybe not the smartest, don't have the most smoking body, the best personality, but as the whole package, you can't be beat. I never realized my Italian stallion was ripping off of Aristotle. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. To think I was hurt. It's time to stop hurting. Time to switch up the inner dialogue. Time to send those crippling, taunted voices out to sea, and along with them, this recurring inner dialogue. I heard it said, thoughts become things. Choose the good ones. I think I'll start with Deepak. I am totally independent of the good and bad opinions of others. I am beneath no one. I am fearless in the face of any and all challenges. It's beautiful being me.
Hi, my name is Jimmy. I'd like to talk to you about social distancing. No, not the kind of social distancing we've been accustomed to over the past few months because of the pandemic, because of the quarantine. This is different. I'd like to talk to you about social distancing and social etiquette at rock concerts and pop concerts, whatever you're going to go. So picture yourself. You spend $350, $400 on a show, not just for you, but for your date, who you're taking. So you're $800 in the hole. Then you go out to dinner. You're another $100, $150 in the hole for dinner. So already you're close to $1,000 for the night, plus transportation, gas. you're in it for 1,000 and for the night, easily. Okay, so what you don't want to happen is you show up to the rock concert, and let's talk about the social distancing of all these idiots that are around you, specifically in front of you. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the idiot who has to positively have to take video of the show. You just realize now that guy, here you are, you got your line of sight, you're watching the show, and all of a sudden you got this guy in front of you, and the whole darn show he's like this. And you're having to look over his head, and you got to see this all night. All night. This is what you see. Why is it that everybody has to take video of concerts that they go to? Oh, I'm on Facebook Live. I'm at the show. I gotta show everybody that I'm here at the show. Okay, all right, fine. You know, why don't you just put the darn phone down, take a darn picture or two or three, put it up on Facebook when you get home, and then maybe you're lucky enough to see better quality pictures or videos up on YouTube. You know, what a waste of time. And not only do I have to look at your big doofus 6 feet, and I'm 5'7", and these guys over 6 foot, and he's got to put his arms like this, and I got to sit here going all night trying to see the concert. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these people. And this is violation of my social space. This is social distancing. This is social etiquette at rock concerts. That's the first thing. All right. Then you got the drunks that show up. All right, and they got their drinks, and the guys are like, "Ugh!" And then they got to start singing with the singer. They got to start singing with the singer so loud you can't hear the original singer that's up on the stage. You know, ready to concrete again. You know, and it's like, I gotta listen to this moron Neanderthal singing, and I just spent $400 for myself and my date, and as I said, I'm in the night, I'm in the hole, $1,000, $1,000 to go, and I gotta listen to this Neanderthal singing, and you know what? He's drinking there, and you know that he was either in the parking lot, tailgating, and he's got more than enough liquor in him to really just make him just inebriated to the point where he's just you know, do you want to see that all night? I mean, you talk about social etiquette, you talk about social distancing. This is what you got to put yourself through. All right, that's the men. Now let's talk about the women. You have what I like to call the woohoo girls. The woohoo girls, you know who you are, girls. You get so inebriated before the show, and you're like, woohoo! That's what you do. And you know what? We got to put up with it, and everybody who's sitting behind you, we got to put up with it too. Woohoo! You want to hear that all night? Again, I'm in the hole $1,000, you know? This is horrible. And then you have the actual, this is the one thing that kills me the most, all right? Sometimes I sit in the balcony. I happened to sit in the second row one time, and in the front of me, that person absolutely has to stand up. Why do they got to stand up? They're in the front row of the balcony. All they have to do is sit and watch the show. That means I got to stand up and watch the show the whole darn night. You know, you want to talk about social distancing? How about social respect when you go to a rock concert? It's ridiculous. So here's my 2 cents. You go to a rock show, you go to a pop show, you spend a lot of money. Be nice to the people around you. Think about social distancing. So do us all a big favor. Sit your ass down and shut the up. That's my 2 cents.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present Barney Pollinger. Hello, hey, everybody. Thanks for having me here. How's everybody doing today, huh? Good? Yeah, excellent, good crowd. So Joe asked me to do a little stand-up, but I gotta tell you honestly, I just want to sit down. I'm tired. I'm not standing up, sorry. But, COVID-19, huh? Am I right? Okay. All right. Sorry. I get it. I understand. But I do have some news. I don't know if people are aware, but recently the World Health Organization has decided that dogs cannot get COVID-19 and therefore do not need to be quarantined. So basically, who let the dogs out? Right? Yeah. Also in the news, the Coast Guard recently discovered 2 tons of toilet paper that were hidden inside bales of marijuana. So last year, when I was home alone drinking a lot, people called me a sad, disturbed loser. But this year, when I'm home alone drinking, people call me an inspirational hero. One small bit of good news is that my car now gets 6 weeks per gallon. So, haircuts, right? When you think I'm wearing a hat, it's tough out there and in here. Basically, I've decided that I'm going to cut off 2 clumps of hair per day just to minimize the damage. I know what you mean. My wife and I have been a little bored recently. We were kind of desperate, so believe it or not, we actually watched Cinderella the other day. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It was entertaining, So you have this prince, right? And so he's at the ball, and he sees Cinderella. Right? Oh yeah, baby. So so they're having a good time, but she's wearing a glass slipper. Oh my God! Think about that, glass slipper. This is a fairy tale, people, and we're supposed to be promoting safety. How are little kids? A glass slipper is not safe. Think about that, right? So now it's midnight, and all of a sudden the clock strikes midnight. She's got to go because she's going to turn into a pumpkin, and you don't want that. She doesn't want to be a pumpkin, so she goes running up the stairs in these glass slippers. Oh my God! Think about the shards, the slippers. This is not safe. This is not a good fairy tale. All right. So, enough of that. So, with my spare time, I've been, doing a lot of tinkering in the basement. And I've recently came up with a fragrance for introverts. I call it Leave Me the Pho Cologne. So, I was out hiking the other day. But I think I've been spending way too much time indoors with the cat. And so I was out, and a woodpecker actually called me a paranoid loser in Morse code. But so I'll leave you with one final thought before I go and spare you any more of this. People who rob banks and jewelry stores are really bad. But anyone who robs a bakery really takes the cake. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Love thy neighbor? Look at this guy. One leaf falls from the tree, and he's out there with a leaf blower. If one blade of grass is half an inch taller than the rest, he gets out his lawnmower. He's got nothing better to do than mow his lawn twice a week. I mean, seriously, guy, your yard is the same size as mine, a 1/4 acre. You don't need a tractor. And can anyone tell me why he feels the need to wash his car and his wife's car every week? I can tell you why. Because he's weird. when it's about to rain, he's out there with his power washer and vacuum washing away. And don't even get me started on his son. I've never met such a strange kid in my entire life. He's what, 19, 20 years old? The kid never speaks, at least not to me when I see him in the morning before work. He walks like a tough guy. Okay, I get it. You drive a huge pickup truck and work for a construction company and wear work boots, all right? I mean, his mom's pretty weird too. One time we were playing wiffle ball in the street and the ball hit her Jeep. I thought she was going to call the police on us. She parks her car across the street now, and you should have seen her face when we told them we're taking our fence down. She didn't like that at all. One time, I saw the father power washing his house at 8 in the morning in 40-degree weather, no less. By 4 p.m. it was raining. Am I being unreasonable? Is this normal behavior? Because if it is, please tell me and I'll stop. It's one of those families that doesn't even like sports, but they'll crank up the country music while washing their car every other day. And it's not like they own super nice cars either. They both own Jeeps. Nothing against Jeeps, but get over yourself. You're not better than anyone else. I literally get satisfaction when I see part of their lawn has burnt grass. Aha! You're not perfect, and neither is your lawn. Maybe don't cut it so often, that wouldn't happen, all right? They used to be cool and clean the bottom of our driveway when it snowed with that tractor of theirs, but since I got a snowblower, they stopped, which is fine. And speaking of snow, it doesn't take much for them to get out their plow and tractor. I've seen them use it for 3 inches. 3 inches? Really? You can't just use a shovel like the rest of us? I have a snowblower, but my personal rule is I don't use it for anything under 5 inches. It's just not worth pulling out the snowblower and starting it for that little amount of snow. Now, look, I'm not exactly social, but they make me look like an extrovert, okay? I like to keep to myself as much as the next guy, but also don't mind a quick, hi, how are you? Good. Okay, have a nice day. These people are mute. They don't even bother looking up, so I don't bother trying anymore, which is fine with me. Trust me, okay? They weren't always this strange, though. I'm not sure what happened. They used to interact a lot more with our neighbors, but not so much anymore. On the other hand, one time when the ambulance had to take my mom to the hospital, the kid asked me if she was okay, and I said, yeah, I'm sure she's going to be fine, but thanks for asking. Look, when it comes down to it, if they ever needed help, we'd be there to help them, just like I'm sure they would be for us. And in the end, that's all that really matters, right?
Well, you all have studied the behaviors of convicted murderers, I assume. So what do we do with them? We lock them away with other convicted murderers. But ask yourselves this: were any of them cuddling with an adorable puppy when they snapped? Of course not, right? So instead of prison, why not lock them away with puppies? I'm Doug Barker, CEO of Super Puppies, and I want to thank all of you potential investors for coming to Boston to hear about this amazing opportunity. So, of course, we don't lock them away with puppies because, well, yes, they're criminals and there's a risk that they would kill the puppies. But what if those puppies could not be killed? What if I told you I had a way to engineer a puppy for both optimal cuteness and indestructibility? I tell you, it can be done. And you wouldn't know the difference between it and a standard puppy, except if you tried to snap its neck. That's impossible. I know. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's not. In fact, in Japan, they already have adorable white robotic seals that bring joy to the elderly and infirm. Look it up. Google robotic seals Japan. Anyway, imagine this scenario. We take the most hardened gangbanger, put him in a room full of puppies. At first, he may try to kill the puppies. Sure, we'd expect that. He's a criminal. That's why it is so important that the puppies are indestructible. Soon, exhausted from the futility of trying to snap the unbreakable puppies' necks, the murderer falls into a state of learned helplessness. He begins to cry in despair. Oh, why? Why can't I kill these puppies? Why? It's at that very moment that they are at their most vulnerable. And our super puppies then close in, licking and nuzzling and staring with their perfectly round, adorable eyes. And their little puppy paws then are perfectly designed to hit ticklish spots, and even these criminals will begin to giggle. And the puppies will just keep coming and coming and coming at them with their relentless cuteness. You see, these puppies never get tired. So many of these hardened criminals have grown up and spent their lives in a violent landscape filled with conflict and abuse. So I say, instead of putting them in a prison, which is a locked environment filled with more violence and conflict and abuse, why not give a judge the opportunity to say, put them in the puppy room? And well, at first they'll beg, no, please, no, mercy, not that, anything but the puppy room. I mean, what self-respecting, hardened man or woman wants to commune with cutesy puppies? Cuteness is the enemy of toughness. But ultimately, faced with this unbearable cuteness and unflappable affection, their anger, their fear, their hate will be overwhelmed by love. So, yes, I have a dream of invincible super puppies. They will not just be cute and unkillable, a marvel of modern engineering, but they have the potential to lift the worst of humanity out of the darkness and into the light. Now, who among you is ready to help fund my research? Now, wait, don't leave. Where are you going? But this is a great investment, and I need to introduce you to Preston, the prototype.
Wow, Joe, those are really great. So what's coming up next for ACT?
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, that was a fun show. Really enjoyed working with all the participants. Such a fun time performing, editing, and going back and forth and getting the show finally put on the air. Really enjoyed it. What's next, you ask? We are doing a ACT music show in which we are tapping into the musical talents of our ACT players. I've been working with the group for the last few weeks, back and forth with some of the music and editing and the videos that go with it. It's going to be a really fun show. I'm looking forward to that. After that, we're going to be doing more not so newlywed games. We are also going to be hosting a talk show in which we're going to be bringing on ACT player actors that discuss influences in their lives, whether it's personal, TV, movie stars, or TV stars, or movies that influence them to become actors. So that'll be very interesting to hear from our ACT players. I'm also looking for ideas. If anyone out there has some ideas on what they want to be doing for a Zoom show or an iPhone show, let me know. Reach out to me, ashlandcommunitytheater@gmail.com. I'm Joe White. Listen, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode of Behind the Curtain very soon.